Hey viewers, welcome to my home course, Laurel Hill Golf Club in Lorton, Virginia. This is probably my favorite course in all of Northern Virginia. I'm a little biased. I do live 15 minutes down the road, and all of my grinding, whether if it's putting, chipping, a lot of my shorts you might see, it's actually done here. The driving range is great. It probably has one of the best chipping and putting facilities overall, and I'm kind of touring it a little bit here. Here's the clubhouse coming up, but for those that are aware of this course, I mean, it's arguably the best in the Fairfax County circuit. So Fairfax County has a bunch of munis underneath its name. This is one of them. Twin Lakes are a few others. Greendale, I can go on, but this just takes the cake. If you were to Google top courses in Northern Virginia, this always cracks the list. Take a look at the clubhouse here. I know South County High School across the street, GW. I think this is, I could be wrong. I think this is like their home course where they play a bunch of their matches. I'll always see a bunch of high schoolers and random matches for whether if it's junior stuff, qualifiers. This course is fantastic. I think it tips out at a little over 7,000. I think there's a championship tees even longer. Golf's already hard enough. You're going to see your boy playing the white tees today. So the white tees, while it's quote unquote the easier tees, it still clocks in at 6,400 yards, I think, and a 142 slope. Come on, that's crazy. Anyway, here's the views coming in. I'll try not to commentate too much. Maybe I always say that and end up commentating a bunch, but let's just soak in the views, enjoy it, and here's tee shot one. Look at these views, beautiful. All right, never mind. Yeah, we're going to commentate a little bit. So hole one, if you can get off to a good drive, and yes, you can say that about every hole, but this one in particular, because it's a super long par four. It's not exactly a handshake start, but I had tailwind behind here. So for those that know, I don't hit it that far. I think I hit this one 270, 275, which is great for me. If you can cover those bunkers on the left, you catch a speed slot. And, here's an 8-iron in, and then me hyping up this approach because I thought it was a dart. I thought it was closer. Yeah, not as close as we thought, but hey, I would take a par on this 10 times out of 10, and that's exactly what we do. While we're mad we missed that birdie, by the way, that was 2 inches from going in. Flat stick's going to be good today. I will take a par 10 times out of 10 on that hole, and if you remember, I told you I drove it 270, 275 on the last hole. Definitely had some wind help. You're going to see on this one, the wind ate that. I think it barely went 230, 240. But yeah, you're going to see that the driver, we're going to have some bombs, and we're going to have some that are so pathetic, I'm embarrassed. If we're just going to be throwing darts all day, maybe we'll go low. Looks about 9 feet. You couldn't ask for a better dream start. We have 2 fairways, 2 gers with both gers. That is so pathetic, Mark. Oh my God, that's hard to watch. We left a birdie putt short. For anyone that's ever played with me, you know my mantra, you know my saying, never leave birdie short. It's exactly what I did. So anyway, on to hole 3. For anyone that's played this course, this is probably, in my opinion, it's probably the hardest par 4 of them all. It's one of the hardest holes overall, but if you can see, and I don't know if the camera did it justice, it is completely uphill. It's completely uphill. You're going to see the next hole kills all that as it's all downhill, but this should be a par 5, and when it's a back pin like it is today, this thing plays, smarter people than me who have played this, what is it? Drop it in the comments. It's probably a 500 plus par 4 where if you're not in the fairway like I was, if you're in one of those pot bunkers or rough, good luck. You're playing that as basically a par 5. And this is one of the coolest holes. You can see the elevation drop. That's got to be 100 feet worth of elevation. We had the worst swing of the day there. It was terrible. We go into the pot bunker. We get it out. And so, hey, if we can just save par after that bogey on the last hole. And notice the flat stick. We burn one here. We barely missed the last one, so the flat stick is feeling good. Let's see if we can just translate the rest of the game together. So first par 5 for the longer hitters, and if you're playing this course as a scout, you do want to favor that left fairway closer to that bunker. The more left you can take a lot of yardage off on your approach. But if you're a really long hitter, you might want to watch out. You can run out of fairway, then it drops off like crazy. I opt for the super safe route. I technically could have tried and went for it. I could have went 3-wood. I think it was a 230, 235 approach. I decided just not even worth it. We take my safety club. I actually hit the worst shot ever, and it was okay. We get on the green with a horrible approach. And if you haven't seen the theme yet, I mean, there's a reason why I'm like a decent handicap. I play very just solid defensive golf, try not to make a lot of mistakes. But on the flip side, it's why I haven't broken par yet. Speaking of, you're never going to break par with BS like that. What a shank. That is just god-awful, Mark. You suck. But yeah, back to what I was saying. And one of my goals for 2023 is I really want to break par for a lot of you that know that. But the issue that I have is, the style of golf, I'll never overpower. I'll never really, reach on all par fives. So I play like a solid defensive score well, but not necessarily like killing the course, breaking par consistently. So, there's a lot of things I need to clean up in my game, but I think adding yardage off, and for what it's worth, look at that. What is that? The ball was just buried in there. Ugh. I got so lucky, though. You can see that the tracer landed like 50 yards short. It rolled up to basically the green. And hey, if we're going to end up two putting for a par, I will take that for what the lie was in. But back to what I was saying, number one goal that I need to work on is increase distance. And then number two, equally as important, I need to be so much better with my wedges. There's a reason why wedges are called scoring clubs. You really need to lock those in if you want to go low. So yeah, that's on the list. And everything else I'm pretty happy with. I'm happy with my irons, happy with my putter. Putter is probably the best part of my game, so not too worried. Right on cue, Mark. You won't do it, Mark. That's great. So overall, pretty happy with that save. That's a really good par there. It's a harder par 3, and this is the last par 5 and the last hole of the front 9. So you'll notice on the mini map, it's kind of like a dog leg right, then it cuts over left. I've only played with one person who's ever reached in 2, and in order to do that, you have to have a really, really good drive where if you see right in front of me, you can kind of catch a speed slope. The only downside is if you risk that, you can risk like an uneven ball can be above or below your feet at times. It's a really, really awkward second shot into a ridiculous green. You never like to see when the camera angle's that far away. That means your boy has basically like 100-footer. The lag putt, I thought, I don't know for other people out there, but there's only like a certain point where I think like my brain can compute how hard you can hit a putt. I hit that putt as hard as I could until I felt in my comfort zone, I should say, and I was still so short. We end up 3-putting, take the bogey. We are 4 over, not too mad. We take a super aggressive line, so it was in a weirder spot in terms of the tee box today. We're usually on the righter of that, but I've been playing a fade, if you haven't noticed, for most of the day. I decided to take a super aggressive line over the trees and in the rough, hoping to fade it over. It didn't fade. It kind of hung its line, but it's fine. We had a wedge in. We end up missing another putt, but you know what? Just what we needed for the back 9. We needed to start with a birdie look, and even though we want that one back, it's okay because we are going to get another birdie look. This was a really, really good one where I thought it was going to fade over even more, so I missed it 2 left, but we have another 15-footer for bird, and again, if we are going to be starting back-to-back birdie looks, I think we're on to something. Let's have ourselves a day. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a day. So you'll notice here, this is so pathetic. That drive went, I think, 205. I'm not kidding. This is going to be me, victim of the wind, and here's a spinny BS again. So everyone knows if you hit a spinner into the wind, you're just dead. I basically hit driver 3 hybrid on like a par, what was this, like a par 4 370, and I'm like 60, 70 yards short. That is just, so bad. But anyway, we could have saved it all with the putt. We barely missed that, and so even though we had the wind against us last one, we are going to have the wind with us here. I think this one went a little closer to 270, 275 again, as we're going to have a wedge in. And, man, distance doesn't even matter. That was chunky monkey. I mean, that was just pure Ben and Jerry's right there. But again, doesn't matter. Your approach can suck. Your drive can suck. Short game is all that matters. You'll notice here, I throw a really, really good chip from about 60 yards out. And, we put one to about gimme range. I think that was like 2.5, 3 feet. We end up tapping it in. We were playing a match. I forget what the format was exactly. This was filmed a while ago. But, yeah. Anyway, next hole. Don't know where I was going with that. This is this hole and the next hole. I mean, if the wind is in your face, which AKA it is, spoiler alert, it is. God, almost stole one there. If the wind is in your face, this hole and next hole, just good luck. Fun fact: if you take a look at this, super long par five. I think the next tees, the blue tees, this is over 600 yards. But when the wind is in your face and with elevation, fun fact: I have played this whole driver 3-wood before, and I'm still short. It was so pathetic. And yes, I don't hit the ball very far, I know, but there just shouldn't be a world where I hit my longest clubs possible and I'm still short. It also could just be because I suck. I mean, we already addressed that because I do. But yeah, let's give ourselves a chance to save par, and I will take a par into the wind all day long. Can we do it? Is the flat stick there? Left it short. Not a bad lag. You can see my friend gives it to me, and on to the last 3 holes. This is going to be a par 3 where kind of throw a dart. I need to invest in a rangefinder where I can have my rangefinder is old school. It doesn't have slope. I always kind of guess, so technically this came up short by about 10 yards, but not 10 yards, that's dramatic, but it came up short, and I always wonder to myself, if I just knew what it was with slope, would that have been better? Are my shots in general going to be better? Anyway, last 2 holes. This is, if you remember my comments earlier about how I think there's like 3 holes that are just always kick my backside. This is one of them. This is so tough. Really. Positioning is arguably the most important on this hole than any other, where you can hit the fairway like me, but if you're not kind of cheating that corner or hitting it really, oh yeah, look at that dart. God, that dart won't even matter if you don't make a putt. So let's go ahead and make a putt, right? Yeah, definitely, dude. Sick, man. But like I was saying with this hole, if you don't cheat the corner and hit a little more right, that approach is just almost impossible with, it does have a creek that runs through it. But here's the last hole, hole 18, par 5. I've birdied this multiple times. I've actually reached the green a few times, in 2. So as a non-long hitter, that's an accomplishment for me. We decide to go for the safer route as wind was kind of swirling. Don't know if it was helping or hurting, so we just decide to play it safe and not flirt with all the water. You'll see me slam my club there. I was so pissed. We left it short. That was a really poor wedge shot and an even more poor putt. So anyway, you'll notice I walk away with a plus 677. We will take that all day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, which I believe we have Algonquian Golf Course coming up.